Hello. So we are in Lionsgate. Happy 8/8, everybody. We are in the magic swirl. We are in a time of manifestation. We are in these numerology magic swirls, swiggles, however you choose to say it, where we are very much so being supported by the numbers, by the universe, by the stars. We're in this really cool portal. So, in the realm and good nature of manifestation and energy, let's do a reading because it is magic. And so I hope you guys are doing well out here. Man, things are changing. Things are manifesting. I think right now, as I'm swirling, the first thing I want to actually, what's coming through is if you can, I want you to think about things that you have manifested in the past real quick. I want you to ground into things that you have set intentions on, things that you have stated out loud that you desire to see in your life. And as we talk about manifestation is not necessarily us talking about woo cool things that we want to happen and then them just happening because we thought about it. I know there's a lot of things, especially when we are first introduced to law of attraction that says, think it, think it, think it, and then it's there. Or just think good thoughts so that way it shows up. It's actually a lot more broad than that. Manifestation, to be honest, is where uh, it's basically your internal world represented in your external world. And that may sound jarring at first. It's your internal world represented to you through your external world. I don't mean this in a you're thinking bad things and so bad things just happen. But if we think about it, if I'm having a bad day, if I'm sad, and someone says something to me as a joke, I might take it the wrong way. You know, when someone says something and we're normally cool with having that dynamic, but because I'm in a bad mood, I took it the wrong way. It hurt my feelings. This is that's an example of the way that when we are manifesting, we just have our lens. We constantly are engaging with our thoughts. We are constantly engaging with our actions or lack of action. And that is the result. What we see as a result is manifestation. If I thought, boy, I really want to do this, and then I also thought, I'm terrified of this, my thought that I'm terrified of this may have had the louder action by not pursuing it. And so I manifested it to not happen whenever I decided, but I'm afraid I'm not good with this, or I'm afraid I can't. And so this is where we get to see that manifestation actually continues to be an active result, an active ripple. It's the way you just press a little dot into the water and you see it ripple. It is just every thought is just rippling. And so, ooh, we had a car jump. So whenever we have this relationship with manifestation, and specifically what we're going for is conscious manifestation, where we're not just letting our the way that things run in the background, the fears, the thoughts, the anticipations, excitements, any of it, we're allowing it to rise and we're giving honor to it whenever it does rise into our conscious. The moment I say I want this, but I say but I'm afraid, it's instead of just saying, oh, I should not think that I'm afraid, it's acknowledging, oh, there's something within me, it's responding to my desires. I stated my desire and I responded with a fear. Good. Now I can address that. This is when we get into conscious manifestation. And it's not actually a matter of rejecting any of the thoughts, any of the shames, any of the fears, any of the sorrows. It's about bringing them up so that way you can actually see them consciously and allow yourself to say, does this serve me? Is this true? This fear, is it actually keeping me safe? Is it actually providing what fear is supposed to do, which is just protection? If I pursue this, what comes up that will make me feel unsafe? And how can I create protection for myself other than just avoiding and not pursuing it at all, or not having that conversation at all, or not putting out that application at all? Whatever it is that you are manifesting, that you're trying to desirably manifest consciously, it's worth asking, what is all the things that rise as you start to address it and you're honest about it? Because those are so valuable. Those are actually, that's when we talk about things like doing the work or even shadow work. Ooh, especially if it's guilty and shamey, it's worth addressing and figuring out why. That way you can start to do the healing. That way you can start to forgive yourself in those layers. That way you can start to address the part of yourself that felt like you weren't good enough or that you weren't capable, and say why. And how can I develop my skills, my knowledge, my experience so that way I do feel capable? And so the card that we had come down, we actually had Six of Swords that fell first. And so with this being our beginning card, we are moving on to calmer water. We have learned everything that has been laid out before us. We've seen all these thoughts. We have seen the way that people have communicated, the way we have communicated, and we get to start to realize, okay, we are moving on. We are making our actual change. You can start to recognize within your life sometimes where something has been going on, it's been going on, it's been going on. This feeling of repetition. And right now is this magical time to say, I'm pulling these pieces of repetition. And instead of saying it might change, instead of saying, I wish it was just like this, we start to bring ourselves into a place of acceptance, true acceptance. Kind of acceptance that isn't saying, it's like this, except, but maybe, kind of, but if only. And you might have things coming up that you are like, yeah, I've been there with that. I have been watching it, waiting for it to change. I've been watching something and thinking, but maybe one point, and it's time for that to say, like, okay, no, we're not clouding reality with maybes and one days and possibilities. We are going to meet reality exactly where it's at so that way we can accept it and start to build with the acceptance. That way, when we take new action, we're not taking action paired with the desire of what it could be. We're not pairing our action and our communication with the blanket and cloak of approaching a what if maybe situation. For example, the example I have coming up is when we're in even dynamics with people sometimes, group projects, relationship dynamics, and we have such a fond bits of this connection, pieces of it that we love. When you're in part of a project that you've built for so long and you love it, when you're part of a relationship and there's pieces that you've loved, friendships, groups, but there's something that continues to be off. There's something that has continued to just not quite land. It's not feeling like the way that you imagined, and not even in an unfair way, in ways that you may have communicated, articulated, and expressed, ways that it may not matter. Even if you haven't expressed it, but you just feel it in your body and you know it's something that you can't align with, even though it's so close to it, so close to what you imagined could be what you desire. If maybe when whatever this is, we're coming into acceptance and now saying, with this acceptance, can I look at this as it is with what I really want and not what I really want in a way that is trying to imagine it with fitting this situation, this person, this dynamic, this way of handling maybe everything you've handled so far, maybe your work, maybe your love life, maybe your roommateship. And you take this piece of acceptance instead of trying to take your desires and fit it into where you've been trying to dream and what if. Accept this place, desire from that acceptance. That way you can say, okay, I have said over and over what my needs are. I've expressed them. I've done my part in learning how to figure out how to express them in healthy ways, even. I definitely encourage you learning to express in healthy ways. Just a bit more of owning where you're at, not trying to assume where everyone else is at, not putting words in other people's mouth, being curious, being honest about our own feelings, owning our own feelings. And then trying to listen and respond when people share their feelings with what, once again, our true feelings are. And so, as you are moving forward and as you are desiring, really, what is it that you desire truly? What is it that you truly, 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 truly wish? And can you find now a new layer of acceptance? Is there a chance? I'm really sorry if there is. I hate it when this happens. This is how we get to these six of swords moments. Is there a chance that there's change that needs to happen from where you have now accepted to what you actually desire if you're not trying to mold your desires into the puzzle pieces of what you've already built as the surrounding corners of your puzzle of life? If everything's not fitting into what you have built, is there a chance some of it needs to shift? Is there a chance some of it needs to break? Is there a chance that there's a death coming up? And that's when we have the moments where we say to the people sometimes, hey, I can't handle this many projects because it's not the way that it's not building in the way that I originally what I've desired, and it's just not we're not a match. Hate it when those moments happen. These are where it's painful. This is why manifestation is so beautiful when we can have the support of ourself, our self-love. It helps when we have the support of the people that love us, because because it's actually a lot of being able to support ourselves through the pain and the discomfort of change. Everything, it's the way these laws of momentum work. Anything that is at standstill stays at standstill until we have something that comes and knocks it and gives it momentum. And we do this with our lives a lot of times. We are in dynamics, we're in situations that have been at a standstill in some kind of a situation, some way that we have accepted. And it's easier to show up knowing what to expect. We have one line of reality that we've been on, where we know where we're showing up to work the next day. We might know who's going to be at home the next day. We might know where we're going to live tomorrow, and so everything is in this fine line of expectation. We have some variation that comes in still, to be honest, that we cannot control. We can't control when we drive to work and an accident happens. We can't control whenever we are showing up and someone called into work, or if we got sick one day, we can help our health, but we can't necessarily just stop things like that from happening. So, what we get this opportunity of is to say, okay, I now recognize that I have a certain set of expectations. And so, if I were to go onto this path and make a change, everything is going to change and it's going to be terrifying. And the only reason your subconscious thinks that is because there's no predictability. It's purely lack of prediction. Even when something's bad, we can predict it. So we know at a certain level of bad how we've learned to come back from it. We know when something has hurt and is painful, how we nurture those pains. And that way we can say, I can show up, I can have that type of discomfort tomorrow, and I at least know exactly what to expect. And that is why it's easier to stay in discomfort that we have acknowledged as being not quite right. That's why it's easier to say, I wish it was better in this way one day if um because then we can still have levels of expectation. We can just kind of shower our desires onto the comfort of what's already going to be established. But this other path, if we really acknowledge what we desire without trying to mold it to our comforts, suddenly what you're going to realize, as we realize, you may have realized, send you so much love if you have realizations coming up, which is good though, because this is how we grow into like really cool, magnificent moments. It's so worth it. But once we realize that this is over here in a different way, there's a strong chance something's going to die. Some piece of your identity, something you've grown comfortable with, something that made sense and you could expect tomorrow and next week and next month. And even if it's uncomfortable, something that you just have at least predictability. So there's a level of comfort because you know what to expect. And that's not enough comfort. That's not true comfort. That's not your actual desires. And if it's in your body right now and it's coming up, I promise you, there's a reason it's coming up. It was not your true desire. Predictability is not the kind of comfort you actually deserve. It's not the same as living in the comfort of saying, I said I wanted this and I built it and now I'm in a day of enjoying it. And that's the truth of it, though, is that even when we manifest all these desires that you can even fathom manifesting right now, consciously desired manifestations, there's going to be a new level. You're going to get to that new job. You're going to quit the uncomfortable, slightly comfortable because you can predict it job. And suddenly you go through the discomfort of this whole path with no predictability. And when it's successful, even, you're going to realize new desires that are going to be through new tiers of discomfort because something new is all going to have to change again. Um, and it's always something, it's the idea. Like if I want to be a speaker, I want to go on a stage for the first time. I love getting to do public speaking. The first time that you do it, the first time you start a video, everyone has that moment. And ooh, I bet any of you that's ever gone on camera, you know. First time you do it, you're like, I can't do it. And it's that kind of discomfort. It's that feeling of all the panic, all the adrenaline. And so we got this discomfort that comes from safety. That's like, I know I don't like this, but I'm going back tomorrow. Work sucked for all these reasons that I know aren't going to change, but I'm going back tomorrow. Compared to this discomfort that says, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm about to do this video. I'm about to apply for this lease in this new business. I'm about to do this crazy thing, speak up for the first time. And I feel so uncomfortable. And it's not the kind that I roll my eyes at because of the fact that I'm going to do it again tomorrow. It's the kind that I'm like, because I don't know. I don't know. You don't know, do you? And there's so many possibilities. And it's not the kind of what ifs that existed when you're like, this would be great if maybe when no, it's when you rip the band-aid, take the intimidating change, and there is discomfort, and it comes with the adrenaline of I don't know what's on the other side of this. This is supposed to be embraced. It's a different kind of discomfort, and it's the kind that says, okay, I might fail. And for some reason, it's almost as if the failure is more intimidating than rolling our eyes and showing up for something that we don't like and know we don't like anyways. What's going to happen in failure? We're going to have a certain kind of pain. We're going to be uncomfortable, right? It sucks, but it actually isn't the worst. It's not actually as bad as knowing that you don't like the discomfort of tomorrow and knowing exactly why. The fact that you were able to learn and develop more awareness about yourself. And you said, I don't like this. And now I can say why I don't like this. I learned about myself. I learned about my boundaries. I learned about my needs. So now I'm going to make a change. And the discomfort and change becomes I don't know about myself on this side. I don't know yet how I can fail. And I don't know yet how I'm going to take care of myself. But that is where you have value. If you can promise yourself right now, I will take care of myself, though. I'll learn, I'll figure it out. If I fall and it hurts, I'll nurture myself and I'll be kind to myself. If I make a mistake and do it wrong, I'll forgive myself. Give myself a chance to say, it's okay. We're okay. You did your best. You're going to try again. You're learning. And so I want you to shift into this place when you start to approach something uncomfortable, but uncomfortable in the growth way, because there's no predictability and you desired it, but there's no way to know how high you can succeed or how low you can fall. And I want you to promise yourself right now, as I pursue this change, I am going to be undoubtedly here for myself. I deeply love and accept and forgive myself as I pursue change. You can say it with me one more time. I deeply love and accept and forgive myself as I pursue change because it's unpredictable. We don't know what's on the other side. And the fact that you've got your own back is the reason that it's going to make it easier as you embrace comfort in the uncomfortable to continue, even when it doesn't make sense, even when it feels like it's not working. When we get those moments where you're like, why does it matter? I went and made this change. I tried it for the first time. I did something new for the first time ever. And it isn't automatically my manifestation. No, it's not always automatically your manifestation because sometimes you just got to learn a little more. It's a constant feedback game. You're putting your energy out there and it's through thought, it's through action. Your thoughts allow your action because if I don't believe something's possible at all, I'm not going to try it. If I don't believe it's possible to make $1,000 in a day, then I'll probably never create $1,000 offer, which will allow someone to like pay that eventually. Paintings that are in that realm, it's possible. To me, it's a possibility because I've made it and I've seen it happen. But if I've never imagined that it's a possibility, then someone might say, if I'm an artist and I'm just beginning, I don't think it's even possible, then I might start by pricing my paintings at like $4. And I've seen people do it, and there's no hard, that is okay. We've all got to start. We just do. And that's the beauty of embracing this. Maybe you just start with selling something at $4 and no one bought it. And then you said, well, I guess no one wants my art. It was so low in price and they still didn't want it. It just means they don't want it. No, it's a feedback game. It's a feedback game. So I want to manifest doing art in my life. I'll try doing art. I've listed it out there. I put it at $4. No one bought it. Feedback. Okay, so now I get to pivot because when I'm manifesting and I'm making the manifestation in the belief that it is going to happen for me, period, no matter what, It is not a manifestation of sitting down, closing my eyes, and just thinking that until it happens. It's a manifestation of deciding that. And so that decision is so strong. So that way, if I go to 3 events in a row where I tested it and the $4 painting didn't sell and the $15 painting didn't sell, and then the third time having it on the floor didn't sell because I put it down below because I didn't think people wanted it. And the fourth time I tried something different. I made a wall maybe, and I put my art behind me instead of on the table, instead of on the floor. And I priced it at $50 because some lady with wild blonde hair came in and was like, "Hey, no one's gonna like your art until you price it higher." I remember the day she came in and looked at my stuff and said, "You having problems selling your art?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Price it higher. It's gonna sell better." I'm like, "No, okay, maybe. What?" And it makes sense now. I get it now. But back then I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna try this." And she comes back a little while later. She's like, "So is your art selling better? I see you priced it higher." And I'm like, "Yes, it is." She's like, "You value yourself, and now people are valuing you." And if you need to, let that sink in. Because God, I just said that out loud and it hit me again. You value yourself, and now people are starting to value you. I feel like I've only gotten one card in you guys. And so, um, if you realize it, then, suddenly that fourth time it happens, it works. You're like, oh, there's something to this. And let me tell you guys, since that has happened, I'm currently I'm in a full gallery. I'm in a full gallery with that me and my family got to open up together because they believed in my art and they believed in me and they believed in themselves. And then I believed in me. But I tell you what, I could have really said, I don't believe in me. And no, I don't want to take this risk. It's not, it's not safe. And it is a challenge. It's a good challenge. It's a healthy challenge. I'm on my manifestation game daily, constantly feedback, feedback, feedback. But the other key thing is pay attention. And I promise I'm going to make this a really big deal before I say this, so that way you can know how freaking important this is. This will make the difference of everything. This will make every failure different. And this will make every success different. This will make every test different. This will make every insult different. This will make every complaint different. This will make every compliment different. Promise you. Are you ready? Nothing means anything about you except for the meaning that you give it. As in, if no one bought your art that day, and those days that no one bought my art, you know what that meant? I know it could have meant that I was a failed artist, that no one wanted anything, that it meant I should give up, right? We say, what does it mean? I asked the universe to give me a sign. I went and did the thing. Nothing happened. What does it mean? And sometimes it doesn't mean that you're not supposed to do it. Sometimes what it means is that actually you were just meant to get feedback and learn how to pivot and try again because you decided on this manifestation. And if you decided your desires and you're pairing that with belief in yourself, full belief in yourself. That means that what it means is that you got feedback on how to learn, how to evolve, so that way you can be better at fully showing up for your manifestation. Because when it doesn't happen immediately the first time, you're getting feedback to learn. How can I pivot? How can I educate myself? How can I do that to take new action? How can I shift my beliefs? What within me is not fully making it feel possible? How can I learn? And so, you know what I did? I got books. When I was back in my pop-up days, I got books. I asked my desires to be better at selling art. So I got a book, and one of them was How to Sell Your Art Online. I remember that book. That book changed everything for me. One book. And I will feel my gut feelings. I feel feedback all the time and constantly asking universe and myself and higher self. And I'm saying, hey, here's my manifestation. Here's my desire. In that moment, I was in the middle of festival life. I was trying to grow as an artist. And I said, I desire to know how to build this art. I want to make my art expand. I want to share it with people. I want to make cool art experiences one day, like a gallery. One day, right? One day I want a gallery so bad. I don't know how because I'm not selling it at my festivals and pop-ups right now. So I get this book, and its book is How to Sell Your Art Online. I remember reading it, and the one that stood out to me the most was called the 50-50 rule. And it said anything that you pursue, anything that you want to do, it is worth it to spend half of your time, 50% of that time in that actual service, in that creation, in that art. This book is about art, but I believe it applies to everything. 50% of your time in the thing, doing the thing, creating the thing, right? But if you actually care about it at all, getting to the world, if you genuinely believe that it deserves to be with people, Then the other 50% of your time should be spent marketing the thing. And that could be educating yourself on how to market it. That could be testing out ways of marketing it. That could be playing with the marketing. And so this could be your post on social media. This could be studying ways to create copyright, and all of that, and understanding the tools. It's time and tools learning and all of that. And so basically, what I understood from that though is even in manifestation, half of your time could be spent, desiring and understanding, but then the other half of it can be spent really learning how to do it all over again in another way. What actually makes this work? I realized art was not just creating art if I want to do it professionally. Art was not just that. I mean, when we think about business, and it's a lot of things, art was also um, learning how to market myself, learning how to do any of that, learning what allowed people to feel comfortable with buying. And so you'll notice in any desire that you have up here, I want you to find the people that are doing it, that have been successful in it, all variations of success, anything that you're desiring. Start to look at people that have been successful in that. And then ask yourself, don't be jelly, and it can come up a little where you're like, oh, I desire. And actually, jealousy, I think, can be a really useful emotion if we use it as a ping of jealousy. And instead of like feeding into the jealousy of it, asking, oh, wait, that means there's something that I desired that for a moment I believed was not possible for me. That is why jealousy comes in a lot of times because there was a part of us that thinks that it's not achievable to us or within our range of access right now, and we kind of desire it. The whole, and it might be like, no, I was jealous because it was unfair. So you want it to be more fair. Like that means that we desire something. We want it to be accessible. And so it would be a really cool opportunity for us to see when we're looking at things and saying, oh, I wish I had it, but it's not for me. And so why? That's where the value is. That's actually part of the research that you get to do. That's the study. Why is that not for me? Because once you manifest those conscious desires, you decide, in my identity, I am capable of being this person. I am this person. I'm doing this thing. Means that no matter how many times that you fail in the pursuit, you're just exchanging feedback to learn, to evolve better into your pursuit until your feedback may be, I don't desire this anymore. That's another layer that comes in sometimes, and that's okay too. It's okay if you've been manifesting something for a long time and in the past you've had so much growth and evolution that you kind of look back on that journal entry that one day that you manifested something clear as day, that you wrote down something you were desiring to manifest consciously and say, that's not what I want actually anymore. And it gets confusing sometimes when we said we want something for such a long time, and that's okay. It's okay to let former manifestation, consciously desired manifestations to die away as well. So let's get into the rest of these cards now, right? I like this. I like this a lot. Okay, so our overlying card, of course, I get all these good cards and the details. And this overlying card, real quick, let me get into this. We got 10 of Wands. I mean, there's a good reason this card's coming up, though. 10 of Wands, you got weight that you have been carrying that it is not time to carry anymore. You see how this human has like this massive, I know this is probably not in focus, but you can see enough. There's this massive bag of wands. This is all of the things that you thought you're supposed to do, thought you're supposed to carry. And no, 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 no. People's ideas about you, the projections people have put on you at times, anything that was shameful, anything that was like, "Oh, you can't do this 'cause, you can't do that be for," any of that, throw it out. That is not yours to carry. And also, the idea of things that you're supposed to carry when it comes to taking care of other people that did not ask you to do it. I just wanted to help. Be noteful of that. Be noteful of when you're trying to help and people aren't asking you to help. And I'm not saying people that could really use it and they didn't ask because they're being, they're learning how to ask and you offered it and they were willing to receive. That's okay if you offer help and someone's willing to receive. That's them still accepting it. Be really careful if people aren't asking your help, aren't trying to receive your help, and you put the weight of all their problems on you to fix anyways. That is done. I don't care if they are family. I don't care if they are your friends. I don't care if they are your romantic partner. This is where it's really important to hold space for the fact that people get their free will and we can love them. And love is sometimes holding space for someone when they're not ready to receive help yet. That's sometimes some of the biggest weights that are on that backpack with that 10 of wands. I think that's probably why it's our overlying card right now. It's because as we're manifesting, it's really worth acknowledging right now. How many things have you put on yourself that isn't wanting to be received at all? At all. And how can you start to take that weight off of you? Um, what all are you putting on your plate? And how can you start to put that on back onto the plates of other people? And maybe it's not even putting it on their plate. And maybe you were actually putting more on their plate. Maybe you trying to over influence, maybe you weren't trying to control everything. Maybe you're just trying to assist. Maybe you over assisting, over helping became someone else's burden, because now they're trying to pivot and respond to the fact that you're always trying to help them instead of just being present with them at times. So whatever it may be, you can offer yourself. You can offer your energy, your energy, your resources, your insight, your advice, all of these things that we do to offer. But if someone's not trying to accept it, if they said, no, I don't want to receive it, you can always ask, would you like this? Do you want that? If they say no, that's okay, move on. But this starts to lighten the load of everything that we put on ourselves, expectations, and all that weight that was really kind of not ours to carry in the first place. So I'm wishing you well in letting out that load. Let it go. Let it go. Some of the details that we've got in here, we've got the Ace of Swords, Three of Cups, as we have as a pairing. With this pairing right here, we have so much new beginning. If you've had new communication, even new thought, even in this reading right now, if you've had some new perspectives, paradigms, thoughts come through, it's time to really honor as they are blossoming. Something that I'm seeing right now is the lists. If you have really valued certain perspectives that are having like key ahas, go ahead and write them down so that you can keep them. Go ahead if you have new ideas blossoming. If even in this moment you've had certain things, desired conscious manifestations coming through, you can list them. Even when you're wanting to write out manifestations, go ahead and list them. Go ahead and say them. So I like things like Intender Circle. Last night we were in the Creatrix group and we did Intender Circle, and it just was so nourishing to be able to say our intentions, our conscious desires that we're manifesting out loud to each other. There is power in that, believe it or not. So lean into that right now with this Ace of Swords. Really embrace all of the new that's coming in, but go ahead and allow yourself to make it concrete. If we think about it, the reason writing it down is actually very valuable is because it's the first time that this thought has become present and real in the physical world, even through words. It is now present and tangible in the physical world. And you get to see how that is a result of manifestation. We're taking thought, making it concrete, and it's just the first step when you write it down. And so, raised with the Three of Cups, we've got this nourishing community coming in. Really remember the way that your community can support you and how the community is meant to support you. Acknowledge ways that your community possibly has not given you that healthy give and back feedback. If you have found that when you go to fill cups and receive the filling, it's just not feeling equal, it's not feeling fulfillment, go ahead and start to ask yourself why in your relationships and dynamics and community. If it doesn't feel fulfilling, ask yourself why. Then ask if you can pivot, because it's really healthy to know how much you can offer in your relationships, all sorts of them. Business, romantic, friendships, family. How much can you honestly offer in a healthy way? How can you be honest about that with yourself and with others? And that way, as you're honest with that and you're honest about that with yourself and with everyone else, you start to make room through the boundaries that are being set, and through that honesty by allowing more of your community to finally have space to reach you and access you. You have more time in your day for them to be around. You are able to then show up to more things and events, and embrace yourself louder because of the boundaries that you've set with people that don't feel like it's a healthy give and take. So that way you can be more of yourself when you're not trying to keep yourself safe by fitting into their box, especially if you're in dynamics where you're putting yourself into a box to feel accepted or safe in a relationship, in certain relationships. So the more you're honest with them about who you actually are, what your needs are, and what you can offer, that way you guys can all find out together in your relationship dynamics of all kinds, family, business, friendships, romantic, what it is that you guys all can actually give and receive. And that way we have space for this beautiful, nourishing community when it comes to having our soul tribe, having that Three of Cup feeling, having the people that just fill our minds with beautiful conversations and our ideas and the way that we get to love and receive love. We have following into this Eight of Wands, Page of Cups. And so we have this movement that's coming through when it comes to your new actions that are taking place. As you're manifesting right now, I want you to start throwing spaghetti at the wall like crazy. I want you to promise me, I'm gonna throw spaghetti at the wall. What is the spaghetti? It is your manifestations, it's your attempts, and it's your action. It's not just your thought, but it's your action. Throw action spaghetti at the wall as a result of your desired conscious manifestation. You have thought it, and now it's time to straight up try things, test it. And it's okay if it's not perfect. It's okay if it doesn't work the first time. It doesn't mean anything about you. Remember, it only means what you let it mean about you. So, what it can mean is that you're just learning. It means that you got closer to your desired result. That's what it means. Control those meanings, influence them drastically because you deserve to. You get to. And with this Page of Cups, that's when we get this development, this blossom, this love, this nourishing, emotional give and take. And what I really like with this one is the way that we have life coming from the cup. Specifically with this design, the way she's holding up, we have this life emerging from it. We got the movement of the waves. For some reason, it's just this life coming from the cups. It's the way that, okay, it's coming through. It's the way that as you pursue these manifestations, it's going to make me emotional. It's the way that as you really start to be honest with yourself about your conscious desires, I feel like I don't need to say manifestation because of the tone that we put to it. Was the way that you are honest with yourself about what you genuinely love, what you genuinely desire. The more you create that honesty and the more you allow yourself to not just be honest about it, but actually pursue it, the more that that light comes back in life. The more that because that life coming out of the cup, that love coming out of the cup, it's the more that as you pursue it, you get to find more of that love. It's like life comes blossoming out of all these moments. You try something, you throw spaghetti at the wall. Suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, there's spaghetti at the wall. And not only was it this result, but I got to meet new people. I got to not just meet new people, I got to meet some of my favorite new people. This resulted in conversations for days that filled me up with so much joy. It's the fact that these desired conscious manifestations, whatever it may be, maybe it was something like your business doing well. Sometimes we make it really concrete and money driven. Maybe it's a partner that you are, like you're desiring this marriage of of health and communication and give and receive of joyful moments and just good conversations and stuff. Maybe it's that marriage and you're realizing that that's what you're manifesting. So you're learning and growing and developing into what it is. How do I become the person that I want to be in this desired marriage? So, whatever it is that we're manifesting, it's usually not as black and white as this. It's not just the thing that we're desiring. A lot of times, it's the feelings that we get within the thing. And that's what we're really looking for. Pay attention to the feelings that you're receiving within this world. And when it feels good, when it feels loving, when you feel that gratitude, genuine gratitude, mark these listing. When I said that Ace of Wands, when I said listing, mark the gratitudes. That way you can start to get feedback, this feedback again. Maybe your manifestation wasn't what you originally thought because it's just feedback. Understanding the feelings that you actually feel grateful for and taking new action again and again until you've expanded your life so that way you are living in that gratitude for all of these things that you constantly pivoted to, responding to when you actually felt gratitude until you expanded your opportunities to be living in moments where you understood that you felt gratitude. You deserve it. You deserve it. A lot of these manifestations and things that we think that we want, they're good. Let yourself dream wildly. Go for it. But understand how much of this practice is coming back home to you. It's actually about coming home to you, yourself, your thoughts, your desires, and understanding how to get into that healthy place of allowing yourself to understand what brings you happiness and to bring yourself patience as you pursue it, allowing yourself not to shame the process, allowing yourself to be kind and gentle, loving, accepting, and forgiving with yourself as you pursue things get feedback from the universe, and shift and adjust. But the more you pay attention to when you're genuinely in gratitude, you're making a difference for yourself. Because that's where we're really coming home to. These great moments, these great achievements, they're beautiful, but we're getting feelings in response to them. And that's what we're actually experiencing. We're experiencing our feelings in response to every present moment. And we desire better, more of those good feelings. And we get there, like I said in the beginning of the very first card, we get to more of those good feelings that we feel gratitude within, moments that we feel true gratitude within by addressing first where is it not feeling good and why? And what does it mean about us? How can we rewrite that meaning about us? And how can we change those beliefs about what we think is possible for us? And when we change those beliefs and we change those meanings about us, what action are we now led to take? And how can we support ourselves through the fear of success and failure both? Because they are both terrifying, I promise you. But if you can be there for yourself through the fear of failure and success, it's easier to constantly try again, try again, try again. So please try again. Think about what you want. Think about your feelings. Respond to them. Think about what you don't want. And be really honest about it all with yourself. Happy 8-8. Embrace this, you guys. I am feeling good about what came through. I'm probably gonna sit back and like take it in myself. Um, Feeling good about it. I'm embracing this. I'm embracing you guys. Thank you so much. Really honor yourself right now. If you need to go journal, if you thought about things, please go journal. I feel like this is potent. I'm sending you so much love because if there's anything coming up within you, you deserve the love to come with that. You deserve all that love. You are amazing. You are here. You are alive. You are breathing, experiencing. Gosh, the fact that we think about the fact that Lionsgate is, related with stars, and then we're in Leo and it's the sun energy. But then I think about the insanity of the fact that we have this fireball in the sky that's close and far enough at the same time so that we can all even be living on our spinning ball. Life is miraculous. We're just here for a very small blip. It sounds very ungrounded, but if we can remember that when we're anchoring into the practical world, it really does help. So I think it helps because it reminds you once again, like we're experimenting, we're living, we're being, there is miracle within this. And so who's to say that you're not able to create constant miracles? But it is a constant act, it's a constant action from you. It's a constant, it's a request of your beliefs. Can you believe in the impossible? Can you continue expanding what wasn't possible to you before to be possible? Continue playing with your belief work because within your beliefs, once you think it's possible, you're willing to try. Once you're willing to try, even if you fail, you get feedback. And with the feedback, you can try again. So allow your beliefs to make it so that every time that you fail, it was purely feedback until you succeed. Until that conscious manifestation that you desired is right in front of you and you're living in it, until you're in the gallery, you know? And so that way, those days of no painting sold at a pop up for $4 turns into, whoa, I can't believe a few thousand just happened from a painting. How is that even possible? It's possible because I was willing to try in the first place. So try. Try. I'm asking of you. If I can give you one piece that will make a big difference after this, try. Do that for me? Do that for you? Do that for you. Try. Sending my love. Goodbye.